History or propaganda? The controversial executive order that could rewrite America's past. Is history truly objective, or is it shaped by the perspectives of those who write it? An executive order titled Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History has ignited a national debate, prompting us to critically examine how we understand and present our past. The executive order, signed on March 27, 2025, reflects a deep-seated concern among some that historical narratives in federally funded institutions have become overly critical and divisive. Proponents argue that a focus on America's flaws overshadows its achievements, undermining national unity and patriotism. They believe a more balanced and uplifting portrayal of history is necessary to inspire future generations. Conversely, critics view the order as a thinly veiled attempt to sanitize history, suppressing uncomfortable truths about the nation's past. They fear it will erase the legacies of slavery, segregation, and systemic discrimination, replacing them with a whitewash narrative that ignores the struggles and contributions of marginalized communities. This raises fundamental questions about who gets to define history and whose stories are deemed worthy of telling. The executive order outlines several key provisions aimed at reshaping the presentation of American history in federally funded institutions. These provisions include eliminating divisive narratives. This directive seeks to remove what the order deems anti-American ideology from historical exhibits and educational programs. The ambiguity of anti-American ideology raises concerns about potential censorship and the suppression of dissenting voices. What constitutes a divisive narrative, and who decides? Congressional funding restrictions. The order prohibits federal funding for programs that degrade shared American values. This provision could have a chilling effect on academic freedom, as institutions may self-censor to avoid jeopardizing their funding. The definition of shared American values is also open to interpretation, potentially leading to politically motivated funding decisions. Oversight by the Vice President. Vice President J.D. Vance, as a member of the Smithsonian Board of Regents, is tasked with overseeing the implementation of these changes. This appointment raises concerns about political interference in historical interpretation, as the Vice President's views could significantly influence the direction of historical narratives. Restoration of historical monuments. The order mandates the restoration of monuments removed or altered in the last 5 years, potentially including Confederate monuments. This provision has sparked intense debate, as Confederate monuments are seen by many as symbols of racism and oppression. Their restoration could be interpreted as a validation of the Confederacy's cause and a disregard for the pain it inflicted on African Americans. Gender representation in the American Women's History Museum. The order stipulates that exhibits in the American Women's History Museum must celebrate the achievements of women and must not recognize men as women. This provision reflects a broader cultural debate about gender identity and inclusion, raising questions about the role of museums in representing diverse perspectives. Enhancing independence. National Historical Park. The order prioritizes renovations and improvements at Independence National Historical Park in preparation for the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. While seemingly innocuous, this provision could be used to promote a particular interpretation of American history that emphasizes the nation's founding ideals while downplaying its historical injustices. The executive order has ignited a firestorm of controversy, with supporters and critics clashing over its potential impact on historical education and public memory. Supporters argue that the order is necessary to restore patriotic values and prevent political agendas from shaping historical education. They believe that a focus on America's achievements is essential for fostering national unity and inspiring future generations. They also argue that the order will protect cultural heritage by preserving historical monuments and traditions. Critics, on the other hand, argue that the order is an attempt to whitewash history, restrict academic freedom, and promote a politically motivated version of the past. They fear that it will erase uncomfortable truths about slavery, segregation, and systemic discrimination, replacing them with a sanitized narrative that ignores the struggles and contributions of marginalized communities. They also argue that the order violates the First Amendment by censoring dissenting voices and restricting freedom of expression. The long-term impact of the executive order remains uncertain, but several potential scenarios could unfold. Federally funded historical organizations may comply with the order, leading to changes in how history is presented to the public. This could result in a shift towards more patriotic and celebratory narratives, with less emphasis on America's flaws and injustices. However, such changes could also alienate audiences who value historical accuracy and critical analysis. Legal challenges are also possible, arguing that the order violates First Amendment protections of academic freedom and freedom of expression. Such challenges could lead to lengthy court battles, with the ultimate outcome depending on the interpretation of constitutional law. The order could also spark a broader public debate about the nature of history and the role of government in shaping historical narratives. This debate could lead to a greater awareness of the complexities of American history and the importance of diverse perspectives. To fully understand the implications of this executive order, we must delve deeper into the nuances and complexities of American history. This requires a critical examination of primary sources, diverse perspectives, and the historical context in which events occurred. For example, when discussing the Civil War, it is crucial to understand the perspectives of both the Union and the Confederacy, as well as the experiences of enslaved people. This requires examining primary sources such as letters, diaries, and speeches from individuals on all sides of the conflict. Similarly, when discussing the civil rights movement, it is essential to understand the perspectives of both activists and segregationists, as well as the historical context of racial discrimination and inequality. This requires examining primary sources such as speeches, court documents, and personal accounts from individuals who lived through this era. By engaging with diverse perspectives and primary sources, we can develop a more nuanced and comprehensive understanding of American history. Education plays a crucial role in fostering critical thinking and historical literacy. Students should be encouraged to question historical narratives, analyze primary sources, and develop their own interpretations of the past. Teachers should provide students with a balanced and comprehensive view of American history, including both its achievements and its failures. They should also encourage students to engage in respectful dialogue and debate about controversial topics. By fostering critical thinking and historical literacy, we can empower students to become informed and engaged citizens who are capable of shaping a more just and equitable future. Civic engagement is essential for shaping the future of historical memory. Citizens should participate in public discussions about historical narratives, advocate for diverse perspectives, and hold elected officials accountable for their actions. Museums, historical societies, and other cultural institutions should also play a role in promoting civic engagement by providing opportunities for dialogue, debate, and community involvement. By engaging in civic engagement, we can ensure that historical narratives reflect the values of democracy, justice, and equality. The executive order Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History has sparked a crucial debate about the nature of history and the role of government in shaping historical narratives. As students, political observers, history enthusiasts, researchers, and educators, we have a responsibility to engage with this debate in a thoughtful and informed manner. We must critically examine the motivations and intentions behind the order, analyze its key provisions, and consider its potential impact on historical education and public memory. We must also delve deeper into the nuances and complexities of American history, engaging with diverse perspectives and primary sources. Therefore, I urge you to take the following actions. Conduct your own research on the executive order and its potential implications. Consult diverse sources and perspectives to form your own informed opinion. Participate in public discussions about historical narratives and the role of government in shaping them. Share your thoughts and perspectives with others. Advocate for diverse perspectives and historical accuracy in educational institutions and cultural organizations. Contact your elected officials to express your views on the executive order and its potential impact on historical education and public memory. Educate yourself and others about the complexities of American history and the importance of critical thinking. By taking these actions, we can ensure that historical narratives reflect the values of democracy, justice, and equality, and that future generations have a comprehensive and accurate understanding of our nation's past. Let us work together to shape a future where history is not sanitized or manipulated, but rather used as a tool for learning, growth, and progress.